any case, a virtual assistant can help you. If something can be done on a computer or on the phone, it can be done by a virtual assistant. Because let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world, fast-paced environment, and nowadays being efficient, it's not just an advantage, it's a necessity. So I dedicate this episode to my wonderful team of virtual assistants, without whom I would be overwhelmed by my daily tasks and not be nearly as productive as I am now. And if you're watching this episode, you know you need a virtual assistant, and I will share with you 10 tasks that you can offload to a virtual assistant immediately, starting today. Now, as I'm filming this episode of the show Built with VAs, I have a team of wonderful virtual assistants that help me run my business more efficiently. I have a virtual assistant that is running my HR department, recruiting other VAs. I have somebody else in charge of fulfillment. Somebody is running sales calls. Another talented person is editing my videos. Somebody else is in charge of social media and so on. It is a very busy day at work at Higher Train VA, just as any other day. And there are a lot of moving parts in my business that make an impact every hour. Because let's face it, we live in a fast-paced world, fast-paced environment, and nowadays being efficient, it's not just an advantage, it's a necessity. So I dedicate this episode to my wonderful team of virtual assistants, without whom I would be overwhelmed by my daily tasks and not be nearly as productive as I am now. And if you're watching this episode, you know you need a virtual assistant, and I will share with you 10 tasks that you can offload to a virtual assistant immediately, starting today. In fact, you know what? I'm going to share with you 100 plus tasks you can delegate to a VA. If you check the resources, I'm going to leave the file here so you can download it and use it at any time to get some inspiration. But before we go into the tasks themselves, let's talk about 3 very important things when it comes to working with virtual assistants. Without knowing this information, you wouldn't be able to successfully delegate responsibilities. So number 1 is hiring a virtual assistant is not hire and forget. So treat your virtual assistants not as freelancers, but rather as employees. Because when you hire an employee in your company, what do? You pour into them, you train them, you give them feedback, you show them the ropes, you spend time with them. A VA is no different. So if you want to foster loyalty with your virtual assistant, share the why behind the responsibilities, share your vision, show them the ropes, give them feedback, and so on. Treat them as you would treat an employee. It's not hire and forget. The second one is VA compensation. Fair pay for great work. You have to know what to pay the virtual assistant that is a fair amount. Most virtual assistants usually charge between $5 and $8 per hour, but these rates vary. It varies on their expertise, it varies on their location, and it varies if you hire through an agency. And if you're hiring through an agency, understand how the payment is structured. Sometimes when you pay an hourly fee to an agency, you don't know how much of that money actually goes to the VA, which might be too little, which means, those virtual assistants are going to be looking for another employment. And if you find someone good, chances are that person might not be available or working at that agency for very long. So understand how it's structured and see if you're okay with that. In our agency, for example, we always opt for transparency. When virtual assistants apply to work with us, we ask them how much they want to be paid per hour, and that's exactly the information we tell you. We never charge anything on top of what they want, so it's full transparency. You have total freedom and total control to increase their salary, give them bonuses, or proceed in any way that you think is right. So the way we work as a company, we have a fee for our service for finding the right person, but that allows you to have absolute transparency when it comes to VA salary, and it makes the VAs happy. So before working with a virtual assistant, keep in mind how to structure the payment in a way that works for you and that works for the virtual assistant too. Number 3 is privacy and security. I hear this all the time. How do I share my password with my VAs? Is it okay to share my credit card information? Is it okay to share sensitive information? So here's what I usually say. Avoid sharing sensitive information with your VA, at least at the beginning. Something like passwords, you can use a tool like LastPass, so you don't share the password directly, but instead you share access to your tools or your software, and then it obscures the password so the VA doesn't actually see the password to get into your tools. So that's a possibility right now. And also, in addition, take time to build trust with your virtual assistant before you share any sensitive information like credit card information or anything else. So give them some responsibilities that don't require a lot of access to sensitive information until you know that you can trust that person. And of course, they need to have access to passwords, which again, the tool is LastPass. That's something we use in our company. That's something we recommend to everyone working with us to use. And we haven't had any issues with that. All right, so now that we got these 3 clarifications out of the way, let's talk about the tasks that you can delegate to a virtual assistant. In fact, if you follow me, I always say that you delegate responsibilities, you don't delegate tasks. It's so much easier to say delegate tasks, right? It's so much clearer, like, hey, this is what you do. But in reality, you want to delegate responsibilities, because if you just delegate tasks, you'll always be thinking about what else to get off your plate. How many times does the VA come to you and say, hey, I'm done with my task, what's next? You want to avoid this, right? So if you delegate responsibilities, you share the outcome, you share the why, you share what you want to achieve, and have the VA figure out how to get you there. So here are a couple of tasks/responsibilities that you can give to a virtual assistant. Number one is email management or inbox detox. So you don't have to drown in hundreds of unread messages anymore. You can have a virtual assistant sort through all the emails and put them in different folders and, just kind of mark them as what is urgent, what is a priority, what do you need to look at first, and so on. So it saves up a lot of your time during the week. Number two is calendar management. Anything from setting appointments to rescheduling to deleting to changing things, a virtual assistant can handle that. Because the truth is, it's easy to set an appointment. You can send a calendar link so people can book an appointment themselves. But the headache comes from when people need to reschedule, and then you need to find a time and you need to inform everyone and so on. Well, a virtual assistant can actually do that for you very easily, and they have been trained on how to do it right. And if you need to know more about this, check out my episode about how to hire an executive assistant and what exactly they handle, because these are some of the common tasks that an executive assistant can do for you. Number three is social media and content. Your virtual assistant can actually help you get more visibility on social media. And how exactly do they do that? Well, they can research the competition and see what they're doing and give you some ideas of what you can do. They can do a little bit of research and come up with wonderful ideas for you. So they can work on content. They can put together a calendar for you, when to film what, when it goes out by. They can even do the posting for you on social media. And in addition to that, they can also write blogs, work on SEO, and even engage with your audience. So you have great social media management all done by a virtual assistant. Number four is lead generation. How you generate leads. Every business needs leads, right? Every business needs leads. So a virtual assistant can help with that. They can do cold calling. They can take inbound calls. They can follow up with prospects. In any case, a virtual assistant can help you. If something can be done on a computer or on the phone, it can be done by a virtual assistant. Even pulling lists to call can be done by VA, skip tracing lists, and so much more. Number five is research. A virtual assistant can put together a list of the vendors that you're interested in and so on. They can analyze prices, they can analyze deals, they can put together a report for you and present the information in a digestible way. So you don't have to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of pages to find the information you need. A virtual assistant can just present the report to you in a clear, concise format. Number six, and this is a popular one, bookkeeping. Depending on the expertise of a virtual assistant, you can have somebody who just organizes receipts and puts them together in a folder very nicely, right? So they can help with some basic accounting, basic bookkeeping tasks. But there are also virtual assistants who are bookkeepers by trade. So they know a lot of the tools, they know the systems, they have worked on the US market, even though they are in a completely different country. So depending on what you need, how advanced the expertise you need, and depending on what the VA knows, it is totally possible to get it done by a virtual assistant. Number seven is podcast coordination. From booking guests that could be on your podcast to also researching opportunities where you can be a guest on different shows, a virtual assistant knows how to do it well. They can expand your network and your visibility and bring you more business. Number eight is design. Logos, infographics, posts, ebooks, all of that a virtual assistant can do. They can increase your brand's visibility, they can increase your brand's image, and so on. And they have tools like Canva, they know a lot of other tools, they have templates. And if you have had a virtual assistant and you were not happy with the results they were getting you, trust me, there are a lot of good people out there who can do the task up to your expectation. We have hired a lot of people who have a good eye for design and who can increase the brand's visibility by so much more. Number nine is drafting paperwork. A skilled virtual assistant can draft contracts and agreements for tenants, vendors, and other stakeholders, and that's going to save you tens of hours of work. Number 10, last but not least, is CRM management. A virtual assistant can make sure that no leads fall through the cracks if they manage the CRM correctly. So they manage a database, they make sure the right people are following up with the leads, and so on. So that can be done by a VA as well. And these are only 10 responsibilities that a virtual assistant can do, but there's so much more. They can do travel management, customer support, web development, SEO. Is just so much more. In fact, check out these 100 plus tasks a VA can do for you. I'm going to leave this resource for free. Absolutely. Get it for free. Keep it as inspiration. Look at it. Just think about what tasks are you still doing. If you see them on this list, what are you still doing? Because they can easily be outsourced to a virtual assistant from anywhere between $5 and $8 an hour. So why are you still doing those tasks? Take a look, download the resource, and get your business moving. So let me know in the comments if you're using a virtual assistant right now, what are you using them for? Or if you're thinking about getting a virtual assistant, what do you think you will get off your plate first? Let me know, and as always, I'm very happy to be here. I'll see you next week.